Hello, y'all. It is Mia Mans, owner of Mia Talks Media and Branding. And I know you're here for our Women and Health Talk with Profile by Sanford, Savannah owner, Dr. Missy Jones. Before I bring her on, I just want to say a super thank you for making these talks a part of your world every single week. We've taken on everything from fibroid awareness to understanding about growing wealth, protecting all the things that you work hard for. We had a great conversation about developing your personal style and making sure that you look and feel your best with Cherie Styles. We spent last week talking about the importance of rocking your vote. And I know that you rocked the polls yesterday. I saw so many of you posting your peaches, and we spent time with 9 to 5 Georgia. And before we get started with our Women in Health Talk today, the comments are open. The first question we're starting this show with are, what are your health goals at a time where health is literally controlling and navigating every part of our life, what we do, where we go? When you hear the term high risk, I just have to tell you, there's some real data we're going to get into about how COVID-19 is affecting high risk populations double and triple fold. So we want to have this conversation today to protect your life. And speaking of protecting lives, I've been told by the American Red Cross of Savannah Maria Center, they are in need more than ever of blood donors. So if you can please reach out. Specifically, they're in need of persons of color to donate and host drives. So please reach out to the American Red Cross of Savannah. And also, if you're hurt or injured in the time of COVID-19, please reach out to our law firm, the Mance Law Firm, at 912-574 for law. I do want to make a disclaimer in this Women in Health Talk. Anything that you hear today from myself or Dr. Missy Jones, please do reach out to your own personal physician to follow up with before starting any health plan, making any health changes in your life. Again, hit those comments. Tell us what your health goals are for 2020. And without further ado, Dr. Missy Jones, owner of Profile by Sanford, welcome to Women in Health. Go ahead and tell everyone all about you and a little bit of your background, please, Missy.
Thank you, Mia, first of all, for having me here today. I am a pharmacist by training. I spent the last 25 years of my career working in clinical pharmacy with patients that had diabetes and hypertension. And after that, I worked at South University as a professor for a while before my husband and I, who is also a pharmacist, decided to open Profile. We found the franchise. We thought it was a really good fit and something that Savannah needed. So we decided to buy it and opened in May of 2019.
So, Missy, let's get into understanding, having this conversation today about health. And we talked off air about, it's not about diet or lifestyle that we're talking about today. I want to get into some data. We're going to talk about just numbers when it comes to COVID-19. So currently, if you have a body mass index of 30 or more right now, it increases your likelihood of getting COVID-19 by 27%. If your BMI is at 40% or higher, this doubles the risk. This is from Dr. David Bunche. He's the director of bariatrics in Huntington, New York. And so what are some of the data? What are some of the conversations that you've heard when it comes to health and the correlation with COVID-19, please?
So there are several studies out there, one particular in the Journal of the American Medical Association that says people are at higher risk of diabetes if they have diabetes, hypertension, or obesity, and they go in the hospital with COVID. They are at higher risk of going on to the ventilator and dying from COVID-19 complications. So that study is out there. Yesterday, they were talking on the news about the COVID vaccine when it comes out, and the fact that people that are obese may not have as much success in building immunity against COVID than others that are more close to their ideal body weight. So those are two things that I can tell you about that are out there that are very concerning to me as a healthcare practitioner, and a reason why getting nutrition under control and being the healthiest version of yourself that people can be is really important, especially now in protecting them against this virus.
100%. And that's exactly why you're here. Is our goal is to save lives, to talk to moms and dads, and understanding that weight, it's not just go on a diet or, oh, lose 20 pounds in 3 days, because that's just not the reality. I know that I spoke from personal experience in talking about this talk, that we get so fixed sometimes on what an outcome should be or what we would want, that we're not understanding, is that healthy? Is that good for your body? And maybe one program or plan works well for somebody else's body, or then maybe you do it for a little bit and you don't maintain those things. And then there's also stress eating, right? So like stress eating, add an amen in the comments in terms of if you've been stress eating in this time, because there is truly so much going on in this world. And now you're 5 steps away from your kitchen. So you maybe are not going to the gym as much anymore, or you're just home trying to do more things. So you're eating a lot more snacks. Can we talk about the correlation between stress and what it does to our bodies, Dr. Jones?
Yes, of course. Stress in itself, even if you're not eating, has negative effects on the body, on your heart, on other body systems. And we know that a lot of people are looking for comfort. And for a lot of people out there, food is what they turn to in times of stress. So talking to a lot of people about stress eating and how to avoid that during this time, and how to make better choices for what they do. But, you know, if you look around every day and you're looking on social media or you're talking to friends, it's more than likely that they say, you know, I've gained weight since COVID because I am at home. I'm not able to go to the gym. I'm not exercising. I am just grabbing what's around me because it makes me feel good. So, in both ways, stress itself and the food that people are eating are negatively impacting their bodies.
So here we are in a stressful time with families having to live in this time together. What are some health solutions that Profile by Sanford provides to the entire family healthy as a unit?
So basically, what generally happens if one member of the family comes in and joins Profile, we do have a lot of husband and wives that come in together. The children benefit through seeing their parents eating better. The parents are cooking healthier meals. They're making better choices of snacks that they're bringing into the home. So instead of chips, they may choose fruit now, or another kind of vegetable to snack on. So they are also increasing their activity. So the children can now get outside with the parents, go for walks, go for bike rides. There's so many positive benefits that are coming out of just one person in the family joining Profile.
And when we're talking about going from high risk to healthy living, we're talking about addressing things like diabetes. You could be an expectant mom facing gestational diabetes for the first time. We're talking about high blood pressure. We're talking about high cholesterol, talking about just propensity to heart issues. What's some of the information for someone that's high risk? And when you're high risk, just to be very transparent, it's not because you want to be. I want to be very clear that understanding that everyone's health journey is so unique, and it's a combination of genetics, environmental factors, society factors. So the conversation that we're having is going, okay, if we can keep you here longer, keep your heart, your blood, everything stronger, that's a win-win for you and for your family. So Dr. Jones, talk to me about when someone comes in and says, listen, everyone in my family's had diabetes, everyone in my family's had high blood pressure, and I don't think anything's going to change. What's the conversation that you have with someone who has that genetic makeup?
We get that all the time. I mean, we get people coming in because maybe their physician has told them that they are pre-diabetic, or they've said, if you don't change your diet, if you don't lose a little bit of weight, then you're going to be put on blood pressure medicine or diabetes medicine, whatever it is. So basically, you might not can change your genetic makeup. Nobody can do that, but you can decrease your risk of developing some of these conditions. And it's not just diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. It's all of the other things that people don't realize is attributed to being overweight, such as joint pain, sleep apnea. How many people have someone in their house that snores? All of those things can be greatly improved by just losing weight. So there are other things that they can change in their life besides just the diabetes and hypertension and all of those things.
Well, and you're 100% right, because you add any of those in, and if they have COPD or, like you said, or sleep apnea, I mean, you're literally worrying about people. And I can think in our household that that's one of our biggest concerns, where we have high risk parents on both sides. And so the constant conversation is really trying to protect our parents and making sure that they're okay, as we all live in this time of COVID-19. So let me get into, at Profile by Sanford, you have coaches, and people feel one of two ways about coaches. Either they're like, I need you, like, please help me, hold me accountable. I'm one of those people. I want you to stay on me. I want you to check me. I want feedback. I want, like, focus, right? Some people are like, I don't want to coach. That coach might trigger feelings if I address my physical issues. And this is true. You have to address the emotional. You have to address how you see yourself. You have to address how does your peer group, look at their own health? And so it can trigger a lot of things. Talk to me about how your coaches at Profile by Sanford and Savannah, Missy, help people get to those goals and reach a healthier lifestyle, please.
Well, the first obstacle that people have is just getting in the door, because a lot of people have tried different things and they're tired. They haven't succeeded before, and they're skeptical. They're like, how is this going to be different from everything else that I've done in the past? We know with the data that people that use a health coach, you lose 3 times more weight than those who do not, because for one, it's a safe place. So if we can at least get people through the door and realize we're not the food Nazis, and we're not going to be, drilling them down and making them feel horrible about themselves. That is not what we do here at Profile. We are here to understand what's going on with somebody and be very uplifting. We want to be encouraging, but we also want to be a little bit stern when we need to. I mean, some people just need to have somebody say, let's have you look inside of yourself and let's try to figure out together what's not working for you and what path you need to go down. So I think if we can get somebody in here and talk to them a little bit, they start to feel more comfortable with what we're doing and what we have to offer them.
Well, and so we've got your contact information on screen. Easy peasy. You can call Dr. Jones, 912-226-1136. Also, they're very active on social media. So Facebook, Insta, you name it. They're in the Abercorn Center, of course, sandwiched between Michael's and Ulta, which are two, two places. I'm just saying in this time crafted and working on your glam. You can find Missy there. I'm gonna, have you kind of keep going on about your coaches, because your coaches are not salespeople. They are not people that are there to do anything other than just coach and bring you to your best health. Can you tell me about your coaches' health backgrounds, please, Missy?
Sure. So you have myself and Kurt, who is my husband. We're both pharmacists. So we have been working with people for 20 plus years. My other coach, Kelly, has a background in nutrition and exercise science. She's also done some personal training. We have a new coach, Amy, that's coming on board, who has an extensive background in massage therapy, more wellness related techniques. So that's a different spin on health and wellness. And so basically what we're here to do is be the guide for somebody's journey. And through that, we are talking about a lot of topics that we know sabotage people throughout
Bring
their journey.
Sabotages. Yeah, I was like, let's talk about the health sabotagers, because this is really important. So when people you hit the nail on the head, and thank you, Susan. She's like, I love Profile by Sanford. Hit those comments with your health goals and health questions, please, as we have our Women in Health Talk here with Dr. Missy Jones of Profile by Sanford in Savannah. A lot of times, like you said, people will go, oh my God, I failed. Oh my God, they're beating themselves up. And you have to take the layers of what can sabotage you. And this isn't just in health, as I say this, Dr. Jones, but we have to be willing to address, am I hurting myself in my decisions? And sometimes when you do look at those things, because I believe we're all introspective people, you go, oh, that's going to cost a lot if I make that change. That's going to make someone I love uncomfortable if I get healthy, because it will make them start thinking about their health. Well, I've always been this way, so I don't even believe that I can be different. Or you know what? So many people have torn me down that I can't even fight for myself anymore. Talk to everyone that's tuning in about those sabotagers, if it's internally or externally, that can pop up, please, Dr. Jones.
Of course. And a lot of people that come to us are in some way broken. Like I said, maybe they're in a situation at home where their self-confidence is low. Maybe they have struggled with weight all of their life. Maybe they've got coworkers that are constantly throwing food in front of them. Maybe they just have a group of people that they know won't be supportive if they try to make this journey. And really, that's what the coaching is about. It's about empowering someone to, for once in their life, be a little bit selfish, because ultimately, if they're not here anymore, how's that going to affect everyone around them? It's like anything else in life that you want to do. Sometimes you don't have the support outside, but you've got to find other ways that you can be supportive. And that's what the coaches are here for. We develop relationships with our members. We celebrate their victories. We are, sad when something bad happens to them. They become literally a part of the Profile family, is what we call it. And when a new member joins, we welcome them to the Profile family, because that's what it is here. I mean, it's a place of comfort and safety and encouragement, and place where people can be who they really are, and they can be real.
Let's get into Dr. Missy Jones. And again, thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Erin, thank you for hanging out with us. Let's talk about being able to change someone's total life, including nutrition. So let's say that maybe a lot of us, I think early teens, 20s, early 30s, you for sure think I can probably eat whatever I want to, right? And it doesn't catch up. I mean, a lot of people, you probably know people, there's some people where they can't eat whatever they want to. And it does not, like, you name it. They're just like calorie bends, right? But there's a shift, and obviously with stress, with having children, you name it, where your body really changes, right? So let's talk about the nutrition component, because again, we're not talking about rapid weight loss. We're not talking about in 10 days you'll look like this. Nutrition's really important. Can you talk to me about how Profile by Sanford addresses nutrition and eating better as well too?
Exactly. And like you exactly said, this is not an easy process. I mean, this is work. These are choices that somebody has to make at every meal and every day. So at Profile, we try to make it really simple for people. We don't have a system where they have to count calories or guess at anything. The plan is actually laid out for them through 6 small meals per day. And we basically start with a combination of Profile foods and grocery store foods. So from day one, people are eating vegetables, protein, and healthy fats from day one in their lunch and in their dinner. We are using our Profile foods, which are shakes, bars, soups, pizza crust, pastas, a wide variety of things, as tools to help get the right amount of calories and start building better habits. So as people start to lose weight, we start removing the Profile foods and adding back in grocery store foods. So by the time they're at goal weight, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you include grocery store foods the entire part of the process, because I do think navigating the grocery store can be one wild adventure for anyone. Navigating going out to eat can be a wild adventure for anyone as well. So it's nice to know that you're having very practical conversations, or if your kids are eating one thing, but you have to make another decision because of your diabetes or because of cholesterol or hypertension, how to navigate that space.
Exactly. And we give our members a grocery list. So if it's on the grocery list, they can have it. The other nice thing for families is the dinner is always a lean or very lean protein, a fat, and a vegetable to start with. So if you're cooking for kids or cooking for someone else, you just add a carb or a starch to that, and you've got your dinner. So you're not having to do the extra work of cooking something for yourself and then something else for the family.
So I do want to acknowledge what Susan said about you guys are really a family, and giving strong advice and impacting her life, not just health-wise, but in other positive ways. And I think, we all should be so blessed to have people who are going to keep it 100% real with us. But it's nice when like, hey, I'm going in this door and someone's going to tell me not what I want to hear, but what's going to get me healthy in the long term. And so that's, again, part of why we're spending time with you today, Dr. Missy Jones. Disclaimer, anything you hear, anything that you hear us talk about, please visit your own physician, follow your physician's advice before starting any health plan. Let's talk about, okay, I know I want to get healthy. And now that I'm listening to this, it sounds like I have some options. I've got some support. You're talking about food that you have in your store. how does your food taste? How do I know that your food's good? How do I know that it's not going to taste like cardboard? And then I'll end up eating 10 of them when I was only supposed to eat one of them, Dr. Jones.
And Susan can comment on this too, but the food we don't get complaints about the food because Profile's done a really good job at making their food very tasty. There are a lot of different options. So for shakes, for example, there's not just a vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. There's a mocha latte and a banana cream pie, strawberry cheesecake, and then we have seasonal items. So coming up will be like peppermint mocha, and just they really try to keep it changing constantly so people just don't get tired of the same thing. And I even have people coming in to buy the bars and the shakes that aren't on the plan because they're like, I would be eating a bar anyway, and these taste so much better than the other ones that I find that I'm going to come in here and buy these. So that's a testament to the food as well, that people that aren't even on the plan come in to get it.
Can you talk to me about some of your prenatal options that you're doing for expectant moms and for moms who are wanting to maintain their health, maintain their sugars and different things like that as they are expecting a child?
Yes. So with our mom protocol, we have some shakes. They're called nurture shakes, and they actually have all of the prenatal vitamins in them that somebody would need. They were, the shakes were developed in conjunction with an OBGYN at Sanford Health. So they've been cleared to be perfectly fine. All of the folic acid, everything you would need is in those shakes. And what we do with the mom plan is we are using grocery store food except for the shakes and making sure that they get the right amount of calories depending on the trimester that they're in. So they're gaining the appropriate amount of weight, but they're not over gaining weight. And so during this time, they're meeting with a coach, and we're helping them kind of navigate through, their meals and their nutrition during pregnancy, and even also in breastfeeding as well.
Thank you. And it's really important for people to know that there is support out here for them, no matter what life they're in right now. So if they're watching this by themselves or your family's been having this conversation about getting healthier, I will tell you, there was a time during COVID-19 where I felt like I was baking a cake every other day, Missy. And I'm like, this is great. I've never had time to bake. And I'm just, the cake. And I was like, oh, I'm just like eating cake batter out of the bowl. And I'm like, hold on, Mia. But I say this because we are in the midst of so much stress. There is stress that comes from systemic issues, and we want people to be here. And so having these conversations, when Dr. Jones and I first talked, y'all, like I've been it. I put it in front of you. I don't really put any like before and after things up anymore. I try to be very mindful that we all have our own journey to health, and some of us are watching this who've had eating disorders, been there. Some of us are going, well, I work in a certain profession and I'm constantly trying to, to maintain this, or I've got to be healthy if you're in the military, because you're doing your PT test every single year or something like that. Or you've just had major lifestyle changes. There's also the thing too, Dr. Jones, of people being caretakers. So when they do have aging parents or they have someone that's aging, and they're usually spending, and it could be, in this time, medical professionals, and we'll touch on what you're doing for medical professionals, where you spend so much time taking care of others that it like you feel guilty for putting your health first. And I'll tell you, before we get into what you're doing for healthcare professionals, I was cooking something for my husband one day, and somebody was servicing something at our house, and they're like, well, why are you cooking so healthy for him? And I said, because I want him to live. like I want him to live. His occupation and his work is stressful and life is stressful, and I want my husband to live as long as he possibly can. So in watching this, and again, thank you, Dr. Jones, for just being willing for people to know, like, we want you to be here, and you taking care of you, it's not vain. It's something you should be doing so that you can give your best to other people. So let's talk about, for healthcare professionals, what you're doing for them specifically at this time if they want to commit to their own health journey.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to mention the nice thing about Profile is for people that have all different kinds of schedules, and this ties well into healthcare workers as well that may work a night shift or may be busy all day. Profile plans can be adapted to fit anybody's day. I mean, we have pilots, we have realtors, we have people that don't have set schedules that they can eat at 6, 9, 12. I mean, we can work with all of those people to make the plan fit into their day. So that's a really nice benefit. The other thing about healthcare workers is they are on the front line. So they are most at risk for, getting COVID and being exposed to it. So it's really important that they stay healthy. So for this month, we are offering $100 off of our startup price for any healthcare worker, whether it be an EMT, a physician, a nurse, anybody that works in healthcare. And we hope that they'll take advantage of that so they can stay healthy, so they can take care of us.
Well, and let me hop over into our comments as well. So having a good kick in the booty, do you think that having that coach, having someone to hold you accountable really does make a difference when it comes to accomplishing your health goals, Dr. Jones?
I really think it does, because for a lot of people, they need that. I mean, they need to know that there is someone that is going to be checking in on their progress, having them set goals, and if they're not reaching them, asking them why and how they can get to that. Because not to be judgmental, as a coach, I'm not judgmental of what someone's doing, but if they've set a goal for themselves, I want to know why they're, what's happening in their life that they're having trouble obtaining that. And maybe we need to go back and look at resetting a smaller goal that's attainable before we get to that big goal. So I do think it helps. So many people have said, I have to have accountability.
And there's someone that I follow, the director of the Rape Crisis Center of the Coastal Empire, Doris Williams. She shared about how overcoming the weight wall was so big for her because there was shame related to sexual trauma and different things that had happened to her. And so the weight, being able to look at, okay, maybe you've gone, I want to address my health and eat and live my best, but knowing that the full person, from physical to mental to spiritual, it's really important to take all of those components on, because we never know. Someone could look like maybe they work out every day, but we also don't know what they're struggling with or what's causing them to eat, what's what those layers are. And so I'm glad that someone can have a safe space, Dr. Jones, to be able to, safe space is really important, just to share what they're dealing with and what's on them every single day.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, somebody can be so well put together on the outside, but they may be falling apart inside. And that's why we can never judge someone. I mean, someone could be overweight, and what we don't know, they might have already lost 100 pounds. And so you just can never assume anything. And everybody's journey, everybody's struggles are different. And that's why we really have to individualize everything that we do here.
So you are open and getting people signed up. Shout out to you because you're just over a year of officially being open in business, which is not easy. So yay! Yay to you. And then you add COVID-19 and you're like, oh my God, what's going on here? And you've still been helping people. Again, here's the deal. If we can take you from high risk, and these are conversations that, okay, let me rewind this. I'm assuming that everyone's going to the doctor. If you haven't been to the doctor in a while, if it's aching, if it's hurting, if you name it, go and get your checkup so you know what's going on. Anyone knows as you get older, you're like, oh my God, my knees, my this, my that, anything that can help you to feel your best. You have kids running around and you're trying to stay active for them. That's why we're having this conversation. You've got support, and tell them, Dr. Missy Jones, how they can establish a relationship here with you, please.
So first of all, they can just call if they want to. For everyone, their first consultation is free. So if they want to come in, we can do it in person. We are basically taking every precaution with masks and all of that here in the store. Or we can do virtual meetings just like this. So we do have people that coach just virtually because they don't want to come in. And they will either come by and pick up their food, call us when they're here, and we'll run it out to them, or we can ship it to them. So first of all, they can call and talk to one of the coaches and get on the schedule, or they can go to our website, and there's a form on there to fill out for a free coaching consultation. And if they do that, then we will get in touch with them to schedule that.
So I'm sure everyone that's watching wants to know, how do you, as a busy lady that you are, with a family, with businesses, what are some health tips you can drop in this talk? I'm going to give you a second to think about it too, okay? Because here's the deal. Hit your comments if you're listening to this and you're like, here's what I do to stay healthy. Here's what I've done. Here are my goals. Like, I am such a big believer in supporting the goal that you have for your life and the total goals, right? So if you look at, again, spiritual, mental, physical, what you want that to look like for you. So acknowledging a goal and saying it, it's totally okay. It's totally to claim whatever you want. I hope that we all age as gracefully as Jennifer Lopez. But like in my household, that's what we talk about. It's about being healthy. It's like eating fruits and veggies, you know what I mean? Getting the 5 to 7 servings in, working out Monday through Friday, making sure you go to bed. Like we were talking about with your food, getting the right nutrients and vitamins into your system to take care of your overall health. What are some of your Dr. Jones health tips that people can take away from this talk today, Missy?
Well, first of all, if they can find something active that they can do every day, that helps not only with just moving the body, but also helps with stress relief. It doesn't have to be going to the gym, doing a heavy workout. It's about finding something that they like to do, whether it's walking, for 10 minutes a day, riding a bike, doing something inside, maybe a short video. But just to start moving a little bit helps increase energy and, like I said, reduce stress, just kind of clears your mind and gets it off of some of the negative stuff going on. The other thing, like you said, eating more vegetables and fruits. The biggest thing, though, is portion control. So just... Exactly.
You don't mean the whole box of Krispy Kremes and the whole pizza and like 3 scoops at Leopold's. I have eaten my weight in Savannah. So I could tell you seriousness, Dr. Jones, let's talk about portion control.
Yeah. Yeah. So portion control, I will say it right. You hit the nail on the head. And the restaurants are the worst place. What I tell my members is when you go in a restaurant, for one, the size piece of meat that you're going to get is probably 2 to 3 times the size, the actual portion that you need. So that's a big one right there. People don't realize, you know, how many calories those extra portions are just in protein. And we've all been taught growing up, you don't waste food. So if it's on your plate, you know, you're going to eat it, especially if you paid for it. But just, you know, kind of
pause right there. So you just went into like a deep mindset, right? Don't waste food. If I don't eat what someone's put on my plate, and it could be out or with at home, it will feel like I'm rejecting them. It will feel like I don't have manners, right? Because we're all here in the South, and knowing that there's a level of graciousness, right? So they will feel like, and Q, we're rolling into hurricane snacks are going to be rolling out. We're already in hurricane season. Here comes the holidays, right? And it's quadruple portioned on your plate, and it's like, I love you, here's food, eat it, because food is also emotionally attached to love, right? And in a lot of just culturally, it's like mantra, just eat and enjoy, right? So now you're telling me to slow down, because we're also, you know, we're in our community going, I want to make sure I can support whatever is local. So I want to try to accumulate as much, and maybe you freeze or you portion out that portion for, you know, a few days. But those are some hard mental things to overcome there, Missy, that you're bringing up.
Well, they really are. And, you know, that's one of the other positive things about having a coach, is just being able to talk through and learn some of those things that we've grown up. Well, you can tell I'm from the South. So, you know, growing up in the South, the way that we have grown up eating, that's a big change for a lot of people to say, I can't have my, you know, rice and gravy anymore, or I can't have this or that. It's just really more about learning appropriate portions. And with Profile, it's about a lifestyle change. So we realize people are going to eat cake on a birthday. They're going to, you know, they're going to eat dressing and turkey and all of that at Thanksgiving. And that's fine. We just want to teach them how to do it in moderation and feel good about, you know, attending an event like that, and how to get through it without feeling bad or feeling guilty.
Well, and being able to know your triggers. So if you're in a stressful situation, instead of popping open a bag of chips, having a moment, just taking a moment to identify, if it's writing down, this is what's stressing me out. And I think that's for anyone, you know, you're watching us here today. And as you see the Profile by Sanford, Savannah contact information, to one, you know, okay, my health is a goal. It's not getting to just one weight and everything will be okay. It's not just getting to a size and everything will be okay. As a matter of fact, if you're living that way, you are selling yourself short, because we all know that each day is precious. I have a very dear friend. Her mom was high risk. She lost her mom to COVID-19. We never in a bazillion, if you would have said that was coming, no one saw that coming. And it's understanding that every day people are being affected. And if you're high risk, and then you add into that communities of color, you're 2 to 3 times more likely to be affected by this virus, and it's not going away anytime soon. And as you heard Missy say at the start of the talk, whereas even vaccine testing is not ensuring that everyone in the population that it will work, and these are just realities that we're all having to learn to live with. So being able to go health, if it is physical health, mental health, relationship health, financial health, that's a goal for you. And then looking at reaching out to Dr. Jones, and you see that contact information that's there. And she's sharing this with you because she cares about you. And it's no small feat to go, I'm just going to stand by somebody as they make this journey, but understanding that it's not to just get to a thing. It's to support you having a good day every day, feeling your best every day. And I know for people who have kids, you're like, I want to be around to see my kids have a life of their own. And so if we can help, and if you can reach out to Dr. Jones and, follow her, if you have a question or comment, you're available. So let's go over Dr. Jones, your contact info, location, store hours, all that good stuff, so people can keep up with you, please.
Sure. So like I said, you can contact us by phone or go to the website and fill out a form, and we will, reach out to you and get you scheduled. We are open Tuesday through Saturday. We're closed on Mondays. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're open from 9 to 6, so people can come after work. On Thursdays and Fridays, we're open 8 to 5, and then Saturday from 8 to noon. So there's a wide variety of times for people to be able to come in. And like I said, coaching can be done virtually for people that aren't comfortable coming in, or they can come in the store. So either way.
Excellent. So we can't say thank you enough for taking time to be a part today of Mia Talks Women in Health with Dr. Missy Jones of Profile by Sanford. I'm going to pop her social information up here. You can find her again in Abercorn Center and learn more about her and the coaches, and learn more about the food, and just, again, there's no step but making sure that the first step to get you on that long-term road of health and wherever you're at in your health journey. This is very dear to my heart as well, because I feel like I've been on a diet since I was born. My mom was always very weight conscious. And so having, gone through a lot of different things, and of course, exercise has been a big part of my life, no matter what weight I've been at. I also wanted to share something that was dedicated to health, because I understand that we all have our own unique journeys, and it does us no service to look to someone else to compare or to compete, but just to be your own personal best version of yourself. So thank you, Dr. Jones, for sitting in support with me here to be able to share this message this afternoon. Thank you again to each of you for tuning in. If you've missed any of the previous episodes in the Women's Empowerment series, all you have to do, you can visit my website, miatalks.com. You can check out all of the amazing episodes, and these are all people who are dedicated to making your life better. Again, miatalks.com. Next week's episode is women and motherhood, all things becoming a new mom, before, in labor, postpartum. We're going to have a very real conversation with Victoria Bucher. Many of you love her as just such a great, phenomenal woman who lived in Savannah, and she now leads the 140 over 90 preeclampsia foundation. So we'll hang out with her next week, this time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And again, Dr. Jones, I'll let you close it out with people hanging out with you and following you. Please, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for having me. All I want people to know is we really are here to help. We are certainly not here to judge anyone. So if you need help, please reach out to us, and at least give yourself the gift of coming in and talking and just seeing if this is a good fit for you. I promise you're not going to be pressured. We just want to give you the information that you need to get healthy and stay healthy.
Thank you. All right, you guys take good care of yourselves. We'll see you later. Bye. Missy, stand by.